messages transmitted at the request of the United States government. A foreign invasion has begun in the northeastern United States. At 10:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, several Russian fighter planes attacked several targets, including the cities of, but not limited to, Boston, Portland, New York City, Trenton, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Scranton. The North American Aerospace Defense Command reports that a second and much larger wave of Russian fighter planes and bombers is inbound. The United States Air Force has been dispatched to intercept the incoming Russians, while the National Guard is working on those already in the United States. All residents in the northeastern United States should shelter in place now. All other Americans should remain vigilant and be prepared to seek shelter or evacuate at any time.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Minuteman, and welcome back to another video. And this is the 6 reasons why the United States will be conquered. So yes, I did a video before of 6 reasons the United States will not be conquered, and I wanted to cover both sides of this. So if you enjoy, like and subscribe, and also comment down below, tell me if you agree or disagree, and if you do disagree, tell me your 6 reasons down below. So let's get into this, guys. The first reason is going to be that no empire has ever lasted. Every single empire in the history of mankind would eventually fall. The Roman Empire was impressively powerful, had more influence than basically even the United States. It was more powerful, and it was so rich. But a multitude of things ended up happening where it would eventually fall. And this is the same with every other empire. British Empire used to be by far the strongest empire, then eventually they would sort of fall. I mean, they are still a very strong country, but they're not really an empire anymore. So the second reason is going to be that America can make enemies pretty quickly. Now, as like I said in the last video, we have a lot of allies, but we also have a lot of people who hate us. And even then, even our allies, even if they are our allies, they still will disagree with us and not fully support us. So that could be very bad in the future, and that could lead to our allies abandoning us, or if we make so much enemies that we can't take it anymore. We have bases all around the world, and although some are needed and some are okay, there are a decent amount of them where they should not be there. The countries want us to leave, and the people living there, when they see American bases, they might get the impression that we're some sort of invading force or some sort of empire. So that does make us look a little bad. That does create a lot of enemies for us, and that's a reason why we may get conquered and fall in the future. Number 3 is division among us. Yes, ourselves. There is so much division in America, left, right, Republican, Democrat, and it used to be that you could be a Republican and you could be a Democrat, but you could still be buddies. You could still be friends, but you're just disagreeing with each other. Now people are blocking each other on Facebook, closing off friendships. They're just not even talking to each other anymore, just because of differing political beliefs, even if they're not extreme or hateful. It is extremely saddening to see this, and it is also very scary. And it's from both sides, but there is one side that's doing it more than the other, and I think we can all know what side that is, but I don't think I even need to say it. But there's not just left and right, there's a bunch of other different sides. There's the whole race issue. Some people even say we might get eventually into a race war because of how bad things are getting. And that would be really bad, and that would definitely weaken us as a country and would make it ripe for another country to come in and invade us and maybe even conquer us. Division will only weaken us. So the fourth reason, which actually goes in hand with the last reason, is a civil war. So we had a civil war in our past, and that was back in the 1860s. That was a devastating war, and we were actually lucky that we were able to recover from that, become the country that we are today. But just because we did that in the past does not mean if we get another civil war, that will happen again. And if there's another civil war, it's probably not going to be just North versus South. It's probably not going to be East versus West. There's probably going to be more than 2 different sides. So basically, Texas could become its own country. It's a big size state. There's almost nearly 30 million people there. they have a very good economy, and they have a lot of people who own guns. So not only will they have enough people to be soldiers, but they have enough of a civilian populace to defend themselves from invaders, despite not actually having as big as a military presence. Also, California, they could become their own state, but that would just be kind of a crapshoot because, well, it's California. But Oregon and Washington could join them, and that could kind of make it a bit better. There could be so many different pacts. There could be 8 different countries that come up after the Civil War. There could be no winners of this. There could end up being 8 nations. There could even be 50 nations. Each state could become its own country at the end of a civil war, and that would make us massively divided and easily able to be conquered by enemies. Not only in the aftermath of the Civil War would we be weakened, but we'd be divided and separated. And not only could states side with that country to take out the other states, but a country could just come in, take a state by state by state, and eventually the entire United States, or former United States, would be, in fact, conquered. Now, the 5th reason would have to be a tactical EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, and what that would basically do is if they either detonated a nuclear bomb above the United States high enough, or even just a nuclear missile or an EMP device, it would basically destroy the entire United States electronic grid. And that basically your phone wouldn't work anymore. A lot of cars wouldn't even start anymore unless if they were older. Your TVs wouldn't work, your computers wouldn't work. And that's nationwide. And that would affect a lot of military things as well. Now yes, our military does have some defenses against this, and this would not destroy us forever. We would rebuild if this happened. But it would heavily weaken us and make us prime for a military invasion from a different country. Now, if you want to look into a video game, yes, it's a video game, but it was created by people from the CIA and other military organizations that know this stuff, and they actually made it so that it is plausible that a country could detonate this above us, destroy our entire grid. They would invade Hawaii, they would invade Alaska, put paratroopers over the Midwest and then attacking the West Coast, and basically split us in half. So they control the West Coast, and then the East Coast is kind of on its own, and they'd eventually take it over. But these are guys from the CIA, these are military experts, and they think that it is possible that we could be absolutely destroyed if this did happen.
Today, the Greater Korean Republic launched their latest communication satellite, claiming it will bring a message of peace to the entire world.
So coming in at the number 6 spot, it's going to be a natural disaster. Now, I don't think a lot of you guys were expecting this, but it's definitely possible. So in Oregon, on the northwestern area of the United States, there's this thing called the Cascadia Subduction Zone. And this is basically a potential earthquake that would basically be a super earthquake. And it basically would be the type of earthquake, the closest you could get to the same earthquake that was in the movie 2012. Now, it wouldn't be that as much damage, but it could be extreme damage. It could completely ruin the entire northern west coast of the United States, and that would weaken the states of Oregon, Washington, and even parts of California. And if those states were completely wrecked, the people were without power, without supplies, and it would destroy even some military bases in the area, that would make it a lot easier for a military to invade. An even worse natural disaster would be Yellowstone erupting. This is a super volcano, and not only could this completely destroy the world economy, but there is a smaller type of explosion that is possible where it would cover the entire world in an ash cloud for a few days, but it wouldn't cover the United States in an ash cloud for months to years, and everybody within a couple hundred miles or to 1,000 miles from the volcano would be just dead. So most of the Midwestern United States would just be zero population, and then just the West Coast and the East Coast would have a sparse population. And some experts say that this could lead us to a drop to only 1 to 3% of our current population. That would leave us with just a few million people from each coast. The West Coast and East Coast, there'd only be a few million people left. That's not if they evacuate either. So who knows if in the future, maybe a couple decades after the ash is settled and people are rebuilding again, not only would America be weak as shit, but there would not be a lot of people there, and that would be prime for an invading force to come in, take out the villagers there, and then make America their own country, their own empire. So that was 6 reasons why the United States will be conquered. Hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did, and subscribe for more if you do want to see more top 6s. Peace out.